everyone, Shane here with etrailer.com. Today I have a 2019 Honda Odyssey. I'm going to walk through how to install the Curt Class 2 Trailer Hitch Receiver. This is what our hitch is going to look like when it's installed. You can see it's fairly tucked underneath the vehicle, so it's not going to stick out too far. We don't have to worry about hitting our legs or our shins on the receiver tube if we're trying to load or unload the vehicle. Adding a Class 2 hitch is going to give you a few different options. One, it's going to give you a little bit higher weight capacity than your Class 1 hitches, but it's not going to give you as much or as many options as a Class 3. It's going to be a steel construction, black powder coat finish, and it's hold up against rust and corrosion really well. Having a Class 2 hitch on here, it's still going to give you the 1 1/4 by 1 1/4 receiver tube opening. So you're going to be limited on some of the accessories that you can put on it. That being said, you can still put a bike rack on. You can still put a cargo carrier on there, maybe to move some stuff from inside outside, make a little bit more room for your passengers. You can also still pull a small trailer. You can find any of those here at eTrailer. As I mentioned, we're going to have an 1 1/4 by 1 1/4 receiver tube opening. Reinforced collar gives us a little extra stability. Hitch pin hole is going to be 1/2 inch in diameter. It's going to take a standard 1/2 inch hitch pin. Hitch pin and clip does not come with this hitch, however they can be found here at eTrailer. Safety chain loops is going to be a welded plate, welded on the bottom of the receiver tube and the bottom of the cross tube, so we have plenty of stability there. Very large openings that will accommodate some different size safety chain hooks. I'm going to give you some weight capacities and measurements to help you when deciding on any of those hitch mount accessories. From the center of the hitch pin hole to the outermost part of the bumper, we're looking at about 3 inches. That number is important for any of your hitch mount accessories like your bike racks and cargo carriers that may fold up against the vehicle. You want to make sure they're not going to make contact. From the ground to the top innermost part of the receiver tube, you're looking at about 11 inches. That number is important for any of your hitch mount accessories that may require a little bit more ground clearance. What I recommend is if you're going to be using a ball mount, put it in the rise position. As far as our weight capacities go, we're going to have a 350-pound max tongue weight, which is a downward pressure on the inside of the receiver tube. So whether you're putting the cargo carrier on, putting a bike rack on, maybe pulling a trailer, you want to make sure you're not exceeding with that. We're going to have a 3,500-pound gross trailer weight, which is the trailer plus the load included. Always recommend checking the owner's manual of the vehicle. Make sure the vehicle can withstand that amount of weight. You're going to go with the lowest number between the vehicle and the hitch. Now that we've gone over some of the features, let's walk through how to get it installed. Start our installation. If you have this panel on our driver's side, we need to remove it. We're going to take a trim panel tool and we're going to remove the push pin fasteners, and there's a 10mm bolt right on this back side. Pull the center out and then remove the base with it. And then of course the 10mm here. And in some cases, you may either have a Phillips or a push pin fastener where your wheel well liner attaches to that panel. In our case, we have a Phillips, so we're going to remove that. We should be able to put it on that panel. And then on our passenger side, we're going to have an exhaust deflector. This plastic piece here. 2 push pin fasteners, we need to remove both of those and remove the deflector. Then we'll set that aside. Now the directions don't tell you this, but it might be easier if you lower your exhaust just a little. Right here on this side, we'll have an exhaust hanger. We'll see how much play it gives us, because we're going to be working right in this area. And if we need to, we can also take the center one down. Spray the end of it with some lubricant. Soapy water works pretty well. And then we'll just take a pry bar, and we're going to pry this hanger off. We may get enough room like that. You need to spray some cleaner inside your weld nuts on each frame rail. Some brake free or brake cleaner, anything like that. We're going to take a tube brush and we're going to run it inside that hole. We want to make sure we get all the gunk that may be in there out. Now our driver's side, you remember, had a panel, so this side might not be too bad. Passenger side, however, is open, so those weld nuts on the passenger side are going to need to be cleaned out pretty well. So what I suggest to test it out and make sure you got it clean is take the bolt you're going to be inserting. It's going to look like this. Flex that bolt, and you want to be able to hand thread that into that hole. We don't necessarily have to go all the way to where it's tight. You just want to make sure when you're running it in there that it's not getting caught up on anything. I suggest doing this with each of the welded nuts. Next, we're going to take a pull wire, spring in. We're going to take a spacer block, put it on top. We're going to take a carriage bolt and thread it onto the spring. We're going to take the head of the bolt. We're going to go up through that hole, followed by the spacer block. And we're just going to pull it back down. We're going to leave our wire attached for now. We're going to repeat that on the other side. I suggest, 1, getting an extra set of hands to help you lift the hitch into place. 2, getting your hardware ready for the weld nuts. We're going to take our hex bolt, conical tooth washer. You want to make sure the teeth are facing up towards the hitch, and we're going to slide it on the bolt. We're going to have 2 for each side. Now with our extra set of hands, we're going to put our pull wire into the corresponding hole in the hitch. We're going to lift it up into place. Then we're going to take our hex bolts. We'll go ahead and thread one in on each side. That will hold our hitch up in place while we install our remaining hardware. So once we have our 2 hex bolts in place, we'll go ahead and remove our pull wire. And then we'll put on a flange nut. And we'll take a 3/4 inch socket. We'll come back and we'll tighten all our hardware. And we'll come back and torque everything to the specifications and the instructions. Once you have everything torqued down, reinstall your panel on the driver's side, your exhaust heat shield on the passenger side, your exhaust on the passenger side, and you're ready to go. I'm going to do it for a look at and installation on the Curt Class 2 Trailer Hitch Receiver on a 2019 Honda Odyssey.